Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast, and we've got some breaking news for you. Although it won't be remotely a surprise, Games Workshop today have dropped full pictures and literally no detail at all about this model of a Yeti, a big guy model for Blood Bowl. Now, over the weekend, if you guys were following the channel or just were online and bored, you probably would have seen that Saturday night, several people received their Forge World model of the new Rat Ogre, and inside was not a Rat Ogre. It was a mystery model. Now, there were a couple of these that cropped up, a couple of people built them, and then the speculation began. It went full conspiracy mode, which I had a wonderful time. It was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. Is the model fake? Is it a plant? Is Games Workshop doing this to build up some hype? Well, if they did do it on purpose, it did genuinely build up some hype. But whatever has happened, they have now had to drop the model in full, in its full painted glory. And we thought it was going to be a Yeti. It is a Yeti. Now, in Games Workshop land, that is a Yeti. Yhetee. I'm going to refer to it as a Yeti until I die. Anyway, let's have a look at the article, and then I'll talk about how much I like this model. So the Warhammer community article went up not very long ago. Yeti sighting confirmed, but what's he doing at a stadium? There was huge news for cryptozoologists and sports fans alike over the weekend as another sighting emerged of an unidentified Sasquatch-like figure nosing around an unnamed Blood Bowl stadium somewhere north of Kislev. And then we've got a great little picture here of the Yeti, but blurred out with some bad stuff in exactly the same pose as the classic Bigfoot picture that we did have on our video yesterday when it all happened. I love this. What a great bit of characterfulness, regardless of where you come down and whether this was engineered by Games Workshop. I hope it was, because it's great fun. It probably wasn't, because I have no faith in any corporations, any corporate companies ever. People are just too busy to go to this lengths, I think, ultimately. Now, as you can see, it's hard to make out exactly what this blurry picture might show. The sport's finest pseudoscientists spent all Sunday feverishly debating whether or not this really is the ferocious beast of legend or simply swamp gas from the marshes of madness. Do you know, I think that's about everybody in the community who got really excited. The sport's finest pseudoscientists spent all Sunday feverishly debating whether or not this really is real. That's us. That's us. You and I, we did this. We did that. We did that. And you know what? I'd do it again. But the secret is out. The Yeti, also known as Yeti, the Yeti is very real and it's very here. So here we go. We get the full image of this chunky boy. Now let's talk through what he looks like. If you've played Warhammer Fantasy since 6th edition, when the Ogre Kingdoms landed, they had these Yetis, and it was changed to be trademarkable. They added extra letters, and it became the Yeti. Cool whip. It's a big boy, okay? The model, we weren't sure how big it looked. It is looking like it's going to be on a 40mm base. See if we can get the base in on the screen there. Yeah, we just about can. Okay, so it's got the classic Yeti vibe. We've got this grey skin. We've got this white plumage, white hair all over the place. The main body bit, the torso, the legs, it actually looks a little bit on the skinny side, but actually that's the Games Workshop design philosophy when it comes to their Yetis. They are more akin to, they are kind of like a werewolf kind of shape. So when this model first landed, all those years ago on yesterday morning, there was a lot of debate as to whether this was potentially a wear something for a vampire team, to have a big guy on a vampire team. Sadly, it's a Yeti. So if you look at the model, we've got the saber tusk kind of skull bit on one of the shoulder pads, which definitely ties it into the ogre style of the Yeti. However, if you look on the other shoulder pad, we've got some Norse runes. We've got some Norse effects. And there's one thing here that I think is worth having a bit of a zoom in on, if we can. Can we do it? Can we do it, Google? No, we can't do it. Never mind. I was kind of going to point out this Fenrir Wolf logo up here. Okay, it's a weird one. It looks kind of like a Gene Stealer cult symbol, but it is clearly a wolf. That, I reckon, is going to be the team design of the Norse team that surely has got to come after this model. Now he's got a little shield, a little round shield on his belt buckle to tie it in. Again, that looks like a Norse, a Viking shield. And he's got little knuckle dusters on there as well. I've got to say, the model is actually really lovely. There's a load of cool details on it. I wasn't so sure of it yesterday, but actually once it's been painted up, this model looks absolutely gorgeous. So there's a couple of pictures here with some extra bits. That one looks like a biscuit. It's again a Norse shield there. You've got that. There's the logo, which is a wolf's head. A wolf's head logo there. Or maybe it's a sea dragon. I don't know. Something like that. Anyway, you've got a couple of skulls. You've got these little shields kicking around. And you've got the best piece of all is this here, this helmet. So on the Yeti's left knee, I think, on the right knee, it is using a human-style helmet as its knee pad. But there's a couple of things in there. Actually, that style of helmet looks more like a Chaos Blocker kind of helmet. What's going on? Nothing too exciting. Okay, cool. So model looks really, really cool. I love the design aesthetic they're going for here. There's a couple of bits here. What a specimen, a lustrous mane, savage claws, and clad in what appears to be sports equipment. He certainly looks like a Blood Bowl player, but what is his team? Much like the brand of shampoo used on that sublimely glossy fur, it remains a mystery. Luckily, we've got our best man on the case. Over to Jim and Bob for their analysis. Jim, whatever he is, he certainly looks like he's going to be handy on the Astro Granite. Bob, sign him up. Is he available for pre-order? Jim, not Yeti. Oh, how good. While you're waiting to see more of the Yeti, why not sign up to the community newsletter, blah, 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 blah. Or just follow Twitter, because that's where things happen first, apparently. You're already on the channel, so we'll do our best. It's got a cool bit of scale mail as well. I mean, this is a very cool looking model. So, how do I feel about it? What do you guys think about it? I think it looks much better painted than it did in the grey resin. I am concerned by a couple of things. One, it's resin, therefore it is clearly going to be a Forge World model. Judging by the fact that I think this may have proven that the Forge World delivery process may not be as reliable as we would perhaps like. You know, normally Forge World are pretty good for that. Casting quality of Forge World these days is actually pretty good, but the one thing that does worry me about it, because it is Forge World, is the scale. And that is because Skrull is a tiny little child of a undead dwarf, and Frankenstein really panicked me. Okay, this dude's supposed to be strength 5, a big dude, and he comes in and he's smaller than the strength 4 golems. This guy on a 40mm base, his torso and his legs don't look massive, and I don't know how big that part of him is going to be. The plus side is that because he's got massive kind of gorilla arms and he's got those big shoulder pads as well, it kind of looks like if Johnny Bravo was very hairy and played Blood Bowl, this is where I think the design aspect would go to. It's kind of the upper half there. We just cover it up. Is a slightly bigger scale than the bottom, so it is possible that the model is going to come in and look maybe size 4.5, so strength 5.5. But it is a cool looking model. And there's a couple of design pieces there I think we can probably take away and assume are going to land when it comes to the Norse team. So this helmet style, I think that is a Chaos Chosen Blocker style face helm. However, it's got that kind of triangular centerpiece, which would be very cool on a Norse team. We've got the little round shields, but the actual armor piece on the shoulder pad, you've got these little triangular runes like the Infinity Rune. Is a very cool thing, and it definitely looks like we're going to have the main team is going to be a blue and yellow scheme, which is also quite interesting. This has got to mean Norse are coming. Okay, so this is full on what happens next mode. This model has been released. Sadly, when it comes to Games Workshop spoiling and releasing like, hey, we've done this model, it doesn't mean it's going to be quick. We're sitting on quite a few things that we're still waiting on to be released. It's been much better, and it's been so exciting to have these reveals, and then a couple of months later, a couple of weeks later, it's like, oh my gosh, it's already good to go. Like, look at the Corn release just before Christmas. It was like, and this, and this, and this, and by the way, it was on order yesterday. LOL, good luck. So, it's an interesting one. We could see this land soon. We just had the Las Vegas Open with a Warhammer preview. So I don't know if we will see a full-on Norse team before another Warhammer preview. And it's an interesting one. How they're going to play this, I don't know. It could be this Sunday. They could just be like, hey, Norse team's up for next week. Because when they did the Lizardman team, there was no reveal. There was no big brew up. It was just like, boom. Next Saturday, you're going to be poor. And I was poor. But it was awesome, and it was a really exciting moment. So maybe Games Workshop will hurry up the release. Maybe they'll brew up the pre-order a bit more, but I am desperate to find out what the Norse team looks like. Not only from the model point of view, but from a statistical point of view as well. They've not processed any teams of Legend for a little while now. And I guess Necromantic was the last team of Legend that got unlegended, and they changed it. they changed one of the positionals, and I wonder if we'll see that with Norse. I'm a big proponent of their Norse team losing a positional because there's quite a few and it doesn't feel quite right. The thrower, I wonder, is going to go, but actually they're kind of focusing hard on the passing game being its own mythical thing here. Yeah, the cryptozoologists and parapsychologists need to get on that because that's a myth too. Oh, man. God, I love a good conspiracy. So, definitely means Norse are coming. I'm retroactively adding this into the video that I've already recorded because Milton pointed out something that's actually really interesting. This player is number 15. This is a sticker. This is a sticker too. This is a transfer. You can almost see a little bit of the gleam around the edge. 15 players. Well, 15 players, 15th player means 14 players before them, potentially. If you look at the way the Norse team is built right now, 2 throwers, 2 berserkers, 2 catchers, 2 Ulfwarners, that's 8, and then 3 linemen on a sprue is another 6. That takes us up to 14. Does this mean that the Norse team is going to have 7 different models on it? Which is crazy, because the Ulfwarners need to be quite big. Interesting one. I wanted to put it in the video because Milton, clever boy. We don't know when, we don't know how, we don't know what they're going to look like. And I think that's very exciting because that hopefully means that some dude on Twitter is going to have it delivered by accident. They're going to order a pizza and they're just going to get Games Workshop's most recent release, which is wicked. And I cannot think of another better way to brew up sales for Forge World than for random people to get unreleased models. I'll certainly be buying more Forge World now. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Do let me know what you think of this masterpiece here. Painting's lovely, model's lovely. What happens next? Anyway, thanks very much. We'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to help support the channel even further, please like and subscribe or come join us on our Patreon. We have early access to content. We get loads of feedback from you guys and we try and do competitions as much as we can. Or you can get yourself some Bonehead podcast merch on our Spreadshirt site. So if you want to support a team, especially for the Bonehead Championship, you can pick up a shirt, a mug, things like that. It all helps support the channel and we really appreciate it. Anyway, links below. Thank you very much. Happy blocking.